All right, so now we get down to the business of practicing these weak Hiphil verbs. First, I want to draw your attention to just a resource that I've posted for you if it would be helpful. And that is just a chart in which you can practice writing out the diagnostic features of the Hiphil strong verbs. So hiktil, right, yaktil, etc. The Hiphil first yod verbs and the Hiphil biconsonantal verbs, since these are the two weak verbs that have the biggest changes in the Hiphil. So these first yod verbs where the yods become vavs, ho, 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 Hiphil first yod, and the biconsonantal verbs. So just, I'm posting that here in case it would be helpful for you to print out and kind of practice writing down those diagnostics. Okay, now we are going to finish out the practice sheet that I gave you last week. I've posted it again here. We'll just do the last couple of sentences, which have some weak Hiphil verbs in them. Okay, we'll start here with number 7. Ha'evir ha'av et zono el sadeh acher. Okay, so what's going on here? Ha'evir, this is our verb, as is normally the case at the beginning of the sentence. How are we going to parse this verb? We've got a he at the beginning, which gives us a clue that we're looking at a Hiphil verb. Now, let's see if I can get the cursor in the right place. We've got a he at the beginning, but not a hirik like we would expect with a normal Hiphil verb. Instead, we have a segol and a reduced segol, a hatef segol in a row. Do you remember why? Can you look at this and see why that might happen? Why might there be a change? Well, we've got a guttural here messing everything up. It doesn't want to take the normal shava. So this is, in fact, our Hiphil perfect verb. But instead of Hiphil, right? Hiphil with a hirik, we've got a segol. But it's just our perfect third masculine singular verb. So we'll parse it first. Hiphil perfect, 3ms from avar. So avar in the Hiphil, in the call means to pass over or transgress, to pass over something. So the Hiphil is the causative form of that, to cause something to pass over or maybe even to bring over, right? So because this is third masculine singular, our subject will be he, brought over. Brought, because it's perfect, we're translating in the past. All right, so now do we have a subject for this verb? Yes, we do. The father brought over. So instead of just this pronoun, we're going to use the specific subject. The father brought over. What did he bring over? Here's our definite direct object marker. Zono, his flock. El sadeh acher. So to another field. Acher, another sadeh field. The father brought his flock over to another field. Okay, number 8. Atem tetsu mimitzrayim. Okay, atem, that's our pronoun, you, masculine plural, right? You, tetsu. What's going on here? It looks like we have an imperfect verb with a tav at the beginning and a shurik at the end. So let's do our call rhyme paradigm to see which form has a tav at the beginning and a shurik at the end. If it doesn't come to mind right away, right? Yiktol, tiktol, tiktol, tiktali, ektol. That's the singular ones. Yiktalu, tiktolna, tiktalu. That's our form here, right? Tav at the beginning and u at the end, shurik at the end. So yiktalu, tiktolna, tiktalu, tiktolna. So those are the second forms, the second plural forms. So this is going to be, let's parse the verb here, something imperfect, second masculine plural. What is our verb here, right? We only have 2 verb letters left. Did we lose a nun off the front? Well, no, we would have expected it to assimilate. Do you remember in the imperfect form what can be lost in the call and turn this hieroc of the call performative into a sere? It's the first yod verbs, isn't it, right? So we've got just a regular old call, imperfect, second masculine plural from the verb yatsa. So how are we going to translate that? We start with this person, gender, number. Second masculine plural is you, right? Y'all. Will, because it's imperfect. Yatsa, to go out. Now, we have atem, tetsu. So this is a pronoun, like a pronoun, an independent pronoun. We have you will go out. And that makes this emphatic. So I'm going to take this and just use it to emphasize the subject of this verb. You will go out. Mitzrayim, from Egypt. V'hotsetem. V'hotsetem. All right, let's go ahead and parse that one. Now, this should be a clue to you. Ho, ho, ho. Hiphil, what? First yod. So we've got this same verb, yatsa. And this time, it's Hiphil. Hiphil what? Well, we have a hey at the beginning and our perfect endings at the end. So this is perfect. Hiphil, perfect. Second masculine plural from the same verbal root, yatsa. So what does it mean? If yatsa means to go out in the call, what does it mean in the Hiphil? Well, it means to cause to go out or to lead out, right? So let's translate this verb. Second masculine plural. You will go out from Egypt, and you will, because we have a vav consecutive plus the perfect, you will lead out or bring out what? Here's the direct object marker. Kol avdechem. Kol avdechem. So all your servants. And let's look at our next verb. V'horadtem otam. Horadtem otam. All right, so this is another verb. You can recognize it by this ending, this perfect ending. So let's go ahead and parse this verb. All right, we know it's a perfect because of this ending, right? Perfect ending, something perfect. And this is the second masculine plural, perfect form. How about this? Well, we've got this ho, ho, ho beginning, which should remind you, ho, 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 Hiphil, 1 yod. So we have Hiphil, perfect, second masculine plural from probably some sort of first yod verb. And indeed, this will be from the verb, or this is from the verb yarad. To go down. Remember, the Jordan River, Yarden, is the river that flows down. So now how are we going to translate this? We'll start with the person, gender, number. You will lead out all your servants, and you will, because it has a vav consecutive, which I failed to put in both of these parsing information. Okay, and you will, okay, if yarad in the call means to go down, what's it going to mean in the Hiphil? To cause to go down or to bring down. You will bring down otam, them. Now, let's smooth out this English. We would probably say, and you will bring them down, right? We're still talking about those servants. You'll lead out all your servants, and you'll bring them down. Here's the rest of our sentence down here. Imchem, with you. Ka'asher, just as. terdu midbara. Terdu midbara. Okay, so this is another verb. Let's parse it together. All right, we have this tav at the beginning and a shurik at the end, just like we had up here. That is a normal imperfect prefix or performative and sufformative, right? Imperfect second masculine plural. And we've got this yod again, this sere again, which is pointing to a first yod verb. So indeed, the verb we're looking at here is the same one we had right here, yarad. And this is in the call, right? It doesn't have the vowels you would expect on any of the derived stems. So this is just call, and it has a sere instead of a hirik because it's a first yod verb. So terdu, how we translate that? Second masculine plural, just as you will, it's imperfect, go down, midbara. Midbara. So midbar is the desert, right? And this is the directional hey to the desert or to the wilderness. So you will go out from Egypt and you will lead out all your servants and you will bring them down with you just as you will go down to the desert. Okay, kind of clunky English there, but it's a good example of some of those Hiphil verbs. Let's do one more sentence together. Okay, this sentence begins Ani Adonai. So I am the Lord. Vahotzeti. And let's parse this verb. Hotzeti. Well, we have our ho ho ho. Hiphil, first yod. This is a perfect, right? Because we have a hey performative and the perfect ending. First common singular. From our first yod verb, yatsa. And there's a vav consecutive on this perfect as well, right? So, I am the Lord. And first common singular, I, perfect plus vav consecutive, will do what? Yatsa, and the call means to go out. Hiphil, in the Hiphil, cause to go out or bring out. I will lead out. Who's he going to lead out? Etchem, you. Go back and put that object in, and I will lead you out. Mitachat, from under. Sivlot, and I've given that to you here. From under the burdens. Of Egypt. So it's a construct chain here, Sivlot Mitzrayim, and because Mitzrayim, Egypt, is a proper name, then the whole construct chain is definite. So out from under the burdens of Egypt. And here's another verb. So let's parse this verb. This is, well, here we have Vahitsalti. Okay, this T ending is your immediate clue that you're looking at a perfect verb, right? And the he at the beginning is going to tip you off to the fact that it's a Hiphil. Hiphil perfect. First common singular because of that T ending. And then what verb are we looking at? Well, we only have 2 letters left of whatever verb it is, right? It's not going to be a first yod verb because then we'd expect a whole vav here. Something's missing off the front of this verb though, and here this little dagash is our clue because that's an assimilated nun. So this started out as a verb that had a nun at the beginning. So this verb is natsal. Okay, and you may remember that natsal in the Hiphil, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, and I will lead you out from under the burdens of Egypt. Oh, I forgot to mention we've got above consecutive here too. And first common singular, I will, verb consecutive plus perfect, do what? Natsal in the Hiphil means to snatch away. Who's he going to snatch away? Where's the object? You. I will snatch you away. May. That's from min, inseparable preposition, from uvodatam. Here, I've put the whole in now. Me uvodatam. Okay, what's going on here? I will snatch you away from what? Well, we've got a pronominal suffix on the end here, which means there. Oh, still typing in Hebrew. Right? That's third masculine plural. From their something. This is actually from the noun uvodah, their service or their labor, their work. So why do we have a tav here instead of a hey? Because it usually ends uvodah with a hey. Well, you remember sometimes when you add things on the end of a word that ends with hey, the hey can be transformed into a tav. It makes it easier to plop things on the end, to connect things on the end. So, I'm the Lord, and I will lead you out from under the burdens of Egypt, and I will snatch you away from their service. Okay, so two Hiphil weak verbs here. First yod verb, ho, 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 and a first nun verb, where we've got the nun hiding out, assimilating in the second letter of the verbal root as a dagesh.